Yes, so good evening. I am Dr. Mary from Mumbai, India, and very happy to be here today, and very thankful for all of you who have joined in from different parts of the world. It's 4 p.m. here, and today we are going to talk myself and Kanaga Durga. We'll be co-facilitating this next 90 minutes on working with caregivers with people, individuals with attention issues and with impulsivity regulation. So last year during the Chennai Storytelling Festival, we had looked into how storytelling can be used for individuals with ADHD, either for them or by them. And so this time we are going to look at how it can be used as a resource for people who are caregivers to individuals who have attention issues. So this time we're just talking about attention issues and impulsivity issues, and we will look into it in more detail as we go through the course of the workshop. So I am also a developmental pediatrician and a storyteller based in Mumbai. And so these are some of neurodiversity is one of my topics that really interests me. And yeah, that's about me. Now I just invite Kanaga to just introduce herself before we start with the today evening's
Yeah,
proceedings.
I'm happy. My name is Kanakadurga Ramesh. I'm a storyteller, soft skill trainer, and a Spanish mentor. I used to conduct a lot of workshops in colleges regarding how the storytelling incorporate with the business strategy and human resources and more and more. Now, in this Chennai I'm from Chennai. She's from Bombay. So last year we have done this ADH, this program. It was really nice, and so many of them have gained and acquired a lot of skills. And this year it has continued because of the lot of applause.
Yeah.
Now we are going to start a workshop.
Yeah. So yeah, last time we did receive a lot of love and applause, like Kanaga shared, and yeah, that was really motivating for us to come back this year. So the intention today is to really look at how are different ways in which a caregiver can support someone who's having attention issues, because uh, typically when someone has issues with attention, regulating their attention, all of that, it can also take a toll for the caregiver to continue managing. So we will look at that. We will start with a short story by Kanaga, and then I would also like to request those who are off video, if you could, it would be great to see your faces and have you on camera.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Kanaga, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Today I'm going to share a story. The story name is The Lake and the Sky. The story was written by Mayumi Mafi from the book The Stories to Light the Night from Susan Perot's book. The Sky and the Lake. You know, I am a Sambhavi Lake. My name is Sambhavi Lake. Where I will be, no, I live in forest. I live in the middle of the forest. You people, how you entertain yourself? For me, no, I just look at the sky. I see the sky. I just imagine there are so many animals passing through the sky. And I also see the moving sky. I enjoy the breathtaking colors of sunset and sunrise. You know, evening you watch TV, you watch Instagram, you gossip with your friends, you chit chat with them. But what is my thing, I just gaze at the moons and the stars in the sky. And I left my feeling peacefully at night. One day, what happened, my life was so colorful. I was enjoying the lightning, thunder, blue sky, clouds, stars, and lightning. But suddenly, what happened, the sky became covered with a dark cloud, heavy cloud. I thought the whole world was gray and gloomy. Oh, it rained day after day, day after day, day after day. There was no light. I was thinking it has become gray and gloomy. There was everywhere was a dark. The blue sky again was hidden under the black, dark clouds. No more color and light in my world. There was not even twinkling star. As the dark, rainy days continued, I was more and more sad. I was so fearful. Oh, maybe I can stuck in colorless world. Or I'm feeling quite hopeless in my life. The day by day, I was so exhausted. There was no color in my life. There was no life in my life. My friend, whose name is Robin, a bird, she saw me from the sky. Why lake looks so dark? Why Sambhavi looks so dark? So I want to help something to Sambhavi. Immediately, the robin flew up to the sky. He went to the wind. Wind, can you blow the heavy clouds from the sky so that my friend lake can get the light? Okay, immediately the wind gathered all his strength. He blew the cloud in one breath. It was disappeared. The dark cloud was disappeared. The sunlight started to come through the clouds. As the sky became blue colored, returned to the lake. When the lake saw the sky again, oh, sky, I miss you so much. My life was colorless. There was no life. Even the sky said, I missed you too. But I know you're there when I couldn't see you. I know cloud one day it will disappear. Nothing stays same in the world. Everything keep on changing. When the night came, all the stars and the moon came in the sky. Even the stars inquired us, Sambhavi, Sambhavi, I didn't see you because of the hidden clouds. Now I can see you. But if I couldn't see, in spite of that, we are just sparkling in the sky. The Sambhavi said, I'm missing you too. I didn't see the twinkling stars every night. I felt very bad. Even we also felt very bad. At last, Sambhavi thought, okay, the colorless was only a temporary. The life, whatever is there is a temporary, but the light is only permanent in our life. Sambhavi understood. If there is no light, if there is the sky, the clouds, the stars will be permanent. There will be no change. But sometimes it may be temporary. But again, it comes to the same place where we can see that. In our life also, there are some changes will occur throughout our lifespan development. But we cannot stagnate at one place. We should overcome and accomplish whatever goals are there. Thank you. Now, you have listened to the story. There are some questions we are going to give in a chat box.
Yeah, I've added those questions in the chat.
Yeah. What do these elements of nature in the story mean to you? The sky, the clouds, the lake. How will you compare your life emotions to that? Can you think of a time where there was a dark cloud that came up for you? Just recollect your thing and write it in a paper. How are you feeling as you think of this time now? When you had a present self, like to tell the younger you who was walking through the difficult time, just write it down. Just put your emotions in your paper. Either you can elaborate in your words or you can draw through your drawing. That's the option. It's up to you.
So we can take 5 minutes with that. You can, if you don't have a paper, you can maybe go and get it. And the questions are there in the chat. And since we are a small group here today, we will stay in the main group and we can share our reflections with each other. We can take 3 more minutes. Does anybody need more time? When you're done, just give a thumbs up so we know, like. Thank you, Abida. Kanaga, I think we can ask them to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anybody who would like to share can just unmute and speak. Yeah, Nina has put something in the chat. So cloud means a certain, lake is vast spread emotions. Yes, the question, can you think of a time when there was a dark cloud? Yeah, and now she feels a sigh of relief. She talks about it. And life is unpredictable. Move ahead. Enjoy life as it comes. Yeah, so something like what the lake encountered. that nothing is permanent and you keep moving ahead, things keep changing. Thank you, Nina. I'm just wondering what anybody else could relate to, any other. Yes, Abida.
Good evening, everyone. As I'm very new to this storytelling festival, just I was scrolling my Instagram. I came to know the storytelling festival. I came to know what it is.
Yeah.
So suddenly, I think I joined only in the half of the session, so I could relate what's happening in the story. My answer for the first question is: so whatever comes in our life doesn't come in the same order.
Hmm.
Or challenges or whatever difficulties or goodness doesn't come increasing order or decreasing order. It comes randomly. So I see my challenges in a random way. We should be ready to face the challenges.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second answer for that is the dark clouds is always it's in our brain, our mindset.
Hmm.
So I can relate dark clouds with our negativity in our brain.
Hmm.
So that's what darker cloud comes to my mind when I think
Hmm.
of that. And third question is, how do we feel about the time? So it doesn't based on seasons or climatic conditions.
Hmm.
So the challenges which comes in our life, we should make ready for that.
Hmm.
Few things looks very smaller, and a few things will become bigger.
Hmm.
It's all based on our mindset. That is my answer. And I have drawn a picture like a small thorn which sticks to some our leg or hand somewhere. It may scratch, or you can remove that without any difficulty.
Hmm.
So I relate that with the pain. So if we think it's a pain, it's a pain.
Hmm.
A lot of scratches we can remove the thorn. But if we imagine that's not a pain, we can remove it in a very simple way. This is what I came to know from this story. Nice.
Would you
Thank
like to share what you've drawn?
uh,
Would
sorry.
you Would you like to share what you've drawn with us? Can
No.
you?
Simply, I have drawn an arrow mark. As
Oh,
per my definition, it's a thorn.
okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, so the same story, we can relate to it in many different ways.
Sorry, I didn't know that I was using a headphone, so I couldn't. I just heard what Avida was sharing. So for me, as per the story, cloud means it's uncertain, uncertain. There is nothing which you can predict or do. It comes as it comes.
Hmm.
And lake is like a vast ocean of emotions. You
Hmm.
don't know which emotion comes when, where, the
Hmm.
turn. Okay. And yeah, the time when there was a dark cloud that came up for you, yes, of course. And now when I look upon that, it's a big sigh of relief. And
Hmm.
the thing that I would like to tell myself now is life is unpredictable. So move ahead, enjoy life as it comes instead of sitting and crying. And of course, I've not drawn the picture, but the picture that comes to me is like life is like a pencil and rubber. You scribble and then you
Mhm.
rub it off and then
Hmm.
add on to it.
Hmm. Oh, nice analogy of a pencil with a rubber, where you can really erase your mistakes, move past it, make your changes, really
Yeah.
own what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you for that imagery.
Thank
I think Manjari has shared something, but do you want to unmute and speak, Manjari?
I think I prefer that you just read it.
Okay. So sunshine means good cheer, dark clouds means a calamity, lake means calmness, nothing remains the same, this too shall pass. Yeah. Thank you, Manjari. So I'm also wondering, like, if there was a robin in the story who came and who really went and got the wind to push it away. So has there been a robin at different times in your lives who has helped the winds to blow for you?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I should add that.
That is an unknown light which gives us sparks
Uh,
unexpectedly.
yes, true.
Yes. Yes.
Like a guardian angel, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are so many different ways that light, like Anaga sharing, can come in, like a guardian angel.
Yeah. Thank you.
You. What about the others? Would you like to share something? Yes, Meenakshi.
Yeah. Sky is hope, clouds are challenges, and Shambhavi is myself. Okay. Yes, I too faced such a situation, and at that time, I was really very, very sad and I was feeling miserable. But when I turn back now and see what I can give an advice to myself of that age is whatever happens will happen. Sometimes situations are not in our control. So getting anxious or feeling low or depressed won't help the situation to get better. Okay, so keep calm and give your best to deal with it, the situation, and then accept whatever happens. That makes the thing we can feel the impact lighter. Whatever we have, if we accept whatever happens.
Yeah. So while what has to happen happens, the impact of it is felt lighter. And what I'm also hearing in a larger sense is that as we move forward in life, it really helps to see that, okay, I have been able to move past what has happened and come to a relatively better place today. Guardian comes in the form of good souls tirelessly working for community development. At times, family too plays the role of a guardian. Thank you. Yeah, Kanaga, would you like to add something?
For what? I didn't. Wait. Everybody shared everything, no? Nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
So,
we are expecting, the same thing they have added on to,
yeah.
based on their emotions.
Yes. Yes. So it's really interesting how elements of nature, and like how Meenakshi shared the lake, even Kanaga, she was sharing the story, she embodied the lake. And so we see these elements of nature within ourselves. You know, we imagine ourselves as a lake. The cloud, we can relate it with some challenging times that come. The sun is seen as some source of energy that might have come. And for me, the part where the cloud is telling, where the sky and the moon and the stars are telling the person that while you still couldn't see me, I was always there. Which means that even in those darkest times, sometimes it's difficult to even see our own strengths or the strengths that our surroundings or our community, people around us are offering, but it's there and it eventually comes in. So, so the idea behind this story and taking you through this story and getting into this reflective question was to get into this thing called metaphors. How we can use metaphors and how using metaphors helps us to see our story in a more gentler way. So the same story, I mean, I'm sure like as you all are sharing on the chat and you all have spoken, it must have been a difficult time or a struggling time, whatever that was for you. And as you're sharing it through, and as you're seeing it through that nature story, it might just seem a little gentler to hold it and to just be with it. So, in the same way, we're going to look at how we can use metaphors when we are working with individuals or as a caregiver. Now, we may not be caregivers to individuals who might have issues with attention. We might have seen someone who is struggling with attention issues in our surroundings, or as an educator, as a teacher, we might encounter someone in our classrooms who has issues with attention, who has issues with impulsivity. And before we go there, I would like to know from you, what would you, I mean, if you had to see someone, or as I am speaking about attention issues, what is the kind of image that comes up for you in your mind? What is the kind of characteristic, behavior, or a thing that you all imagine a person with attention issues or with impulsivity issues would have?
One always standing up and shouting and trying to grab the attention. That's what comes to me.
Yeah. So someone who's really trying to get the attention, so shouting. So are you talking about a specific situation like a classroom or something?
Yeah. It's about it is in a classroom basically, where when we have 45 to 50 students in the class, one particular student getting up and trying to catch the attention by always jumping up or saying something, those things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that in, Nina. So
thank you.
jumping, distracting. It seems like the class is getting distracted because of this person who wants to get attention. Yeah. Anybody else has any? Yes, Sudha. Welcome.
I mean, this is just an observation. I don't think it's just the children in a class who are distracted. I think all of us, thanks to the cell phone, our attention spans have become so short
Yeah.
that we can't focus for more than a few minutes. We're constantly checking to see if some message is coming in, or if somebody's updating or seeing your Facebook post, or things like that. I think this is a sign of our times that
Yeah. Yeah.
that is I may be wrong. It may not fit in with your scheme of things, but I think this is.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the attention that we give to something is seemingly shortened over a period of
It's getting shorter by the day.
shorter. We can see that with the size of the reels that are there,
Hmm.
That's how long the attention can be held. So
Sorry?
that's how long our attention can be, to get a effective audience. Sometimes the visuals are so quick because the
Yeah.
attention span is so short. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So one is the attention, and then what else? So we spoke about distractibility, short attention span.
Hyperactivity also.
Yeah. And what would that look like? When you say hyperactivity, what are you seeing?
A kind of energy that you want to give it out, so ready to do this or that or whatever you feel like doing. So
Yeah.
that kind of emotion that is going through, what to do next.
Yeah.
Of course, I think even the reel making is one such thing that one reel is ready, that got this many likes, so now what to do with the next reel, what the topic should be. So that is also kind of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
need to constantly move, maybe,
Yeah.
or need to constantly do something. Yes, Manjiri, sorry.
Nervous energy.
Nervous energy. And what would that look like?
Uh, not sure what is, kind of, I don't know how to put it actually, but meaning
The body
energy.
language.
Yeah, energy is
body
not properly like channelized. It's just um, sort of trying to get across, but not really able to. Maybe I don't know if I put it correctly.
So are you saying to say a lot of things but not coming across clearly
Yes.
doing something but ending up doing something else.
Yes.
Just seeing a lot of either verbal or physical activity.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah. Yeah, so these are some things that we see, and typically when we say in issues with attention regulation or what is commonly known as attention deficit, it's really a challenge with managing the attention. And what we typically see is and how they are typically known in a general population is they are either distracted, they are daydreaming, they have difficulty following instructions, or they are all over the place,
Mm.
or sometimes we would say they are stubborn, or they seem lazy because they're not able to do as fast as you would want them to do, or they are loud. And
Mm.
what happens as a result of this is that over a period of time, the negative self-talk around these individuals and children is so much that over a period of time that even becomes their inner speech or their inner talk that they're hearing, and then they're like, okay, I am like this. And as an individual who's having these challenges, or as someone who is a supportive person for this person, like a caregiver or an educator, or you see, it also gets very exhausting for them to constantly having to hear this for your own child or to see this in your classroom. And so, when someone has attention issues, what we see is just the tip of the iceberg. So, if there was an iceberg, the tip would show someone who's, really hyper all over the place or having disability, cannot wait for their turn, but juts in when somebody is speaking, cannot follow rules, or has difficulty managing emotions. But below that, there is a large chunk where that person really is trying to do is connect. In some way, is trying to reach out to the other person. Has a lot of energy, which can be channelized in a nice way and can be creative, can be a very empathetic person because they feel everything so deeply. And so sometimes when we see a person from a certain behavioral lens, that becomes their identity. And so today we're just going to shift that and see what else is there in this person. So a person who could be all over the place, maybe someone who's good on a job which requires a lot of moving around, maybe good with nature, maybe good with animals, maybe someone who's very resourceful, somebody who can think out of the box, someone who's very impulsive, maybe very, quick to come up with solutions, or somebody who's really passionate, very feels something very strongly, maybe someone who fights for social justice or can, go and fight for something that they really care about, maybe like the environment, maybe like things like that. But for that, we have to really see that. And sometimes the weight of the words which are so negative or about the behavior which is so subjective is so much and so present, it's very difficult to really tap into these things. Today, we are going to take some time and create a story and visualize it. And we're going to use metaphors to um, imagine some of these characteristics. For example, if I were to say somebody who's hyper and all over the place, what kind of an image do you see if you were to relate it to something or some object?
Bouncing ball.
Bouncing ball. Yeah, maybe like a red bouncing ball, so much energy just going from place to place. So, and if
Kangaroo.
kangaroo, yes. So a kangaroo who's always jumping around. Yeah, yeah. So we are saying that this thing that we see is not the entire person. This is a part of that person. And for a caregiver to say that, okay, there is this, but yet there are so many other good qualities, or there are so many other resources that this person has, and how we can look at it and even feel supportive for that person and help them also to come up with, something. So I'm also inspired by the work of Susan Perot, who writes about therapeutic storytelling on how challenging behaviors can be worked on. And one of the that we read today is also from her book, which Kanaga shared. So what we are going to do now in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through a small kind of a visual guided process where we'll imagine I mean, I'm sure you must have seen some of these kind of people with characteristics around you in your families or in the society. So just to imagine someone and how we can just see if we can just shift our lens around how we look at things for them. Okay, so I just request you to just sit in a comfortable position, take your feet on the ground or wherever it is, just support, noticing the support of your seat with your legs and your back if it's supported to. Yes, the lake and the sky, Kanaga, can you just write the name of the book?
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah, thank you. And now maybe you can just gently close your eyes. Just take a moment to come into this moment, into this place here. Just noticing the contact of the chair with your legs, with your back. Somebody is on unmute. Yeah, thank you. Just taking a deep breath in. And just taking some time to bring to our attention some person who we might have encountered in our homes or outside our homes, in a school or anywhere in the community, who you would associate with issues with paying attention or issues with hyperactivity or being impulsive. Just thinking of this person and thinking of what is this one thing that you would like to look at today, this one behavior as we call it, what is seen today. And as you're looking at it, what would be a way you would describe it in a very objective manner? This behavior that you're seeing. For example, if someone would label someone as hyperactive, to describe it objectively would mean to say he's all over, he cannot sit in one place all the time. He would keep moving from one place to another. Or he finds it difficult to wait for his turn. If impulsivity is that something that's coming up to you. And now think of where have you seen this behavior? In what situation do you see this person doing this behavior? What happens before that? What's usually happening in the environment before this behavior happens? Is it a busy environment? Or is it a classroom where someone is sitting for too long? And when other times does it happen? Is it noticed during the early time of the day, or is it towards the end of the day? And what happens as a consequence of this behavior that is seen? Does this person get into some sort of trouble? Like maybe getting punished by teachers or getting misunderstood by friends, or getting bullied because this person is very emotional. Or and as an adult, maybe having a burnout, finding it difficult to manage. What is the consequence that usually happens when this is seen? And now think of what are the strengths that this individual has. While there is this behavior or this issue that's there, what else is there in this person? Is he creative, animal lover, passionate, out of the box thinker? What is an emotion? What is a strength, a good quality, or a resource that you associate with this person? And what are some strengths that you think the caregiver might have? A parent, an educator, or even as a friend? And what are these strengths? How can these strengths be used to bring some kind of resolution or some kind of resolving for this person? And now think of some visual image as of a thing or an object that you could associate with this behavior or this quality that this person has. Is there an object from your day-to-day lives seen around you or something from nature, just like the story, that you would associate with this quality? Okay, I'll just be back. Extremely sorry for that. And now you may slowly open your eyes, if not already open. And then if you want to just write down what has come up for you, then please do note it down. And then we'll see how we can maybe share our stories or see how we can work on these stories. Whenever you got something down and you would like to share, just give a thumbs up.
Yeah, for me, when I started, thinking, it was not about a student
Hmm.
or a child. It was an adult. In our professions, we come across so many people. So the story, whatever it is, for me, it was the head of the institution that came to my mind. And the object that came to me while thinking about that person was two objects were there. One is the chili and one is the coconut. Chili because any kind of you just say whatever comes to your mind without even checking whether the things that you are telling is you know uh, is it the truth or whatever
Hmm.
hearsay you have, you tell it, and there is no remorse when you say that, and that gives a nervous breakdown to people who listen to that. And the other thing is hyperactive and being very impulsive while telling, talking to juniors or seniors. And the good habit that I found was reading habit, but not used wisely, and should have been more diplomatic and give less of nervous breakdown to her co-workers.
Yeah.
So the good quality that I could say is, yeah, reading, of course, was one good quality. Then at times you feel like, people have double shades.
Hmm.
One is like the coconut, very hard and the outer side. Then you have the the what you call the threads, yeah, and that soft malai. So same with this person. Is very what do you call? Maybe with so much of experience, I think that should have been changed long back.
Hmm.
But God knows what was the reason whatsoever. This thing that came to my mind while thinking about.
So one thing you spoke about is like a chili.
Yes.
Yes. And then
Chili is when you abruptly fire and or loudly you say come to a conclusion, even without no, the moment you hear it, you come to a conclusion, even without thinking whether it is right
Hmm.
or wrong.
Yeah.
Because when you are in a position where you're supposed to look all the angles before coming to a conclusion, you don't go for it. Abruptly, you're coming to a conclusion. So chili
Yeah.
in that manner and giving nervous breakdown, and coconut in because at times very nice, very friendly,
Yeah.
and you feel like, oh, maybe she's giving a right suggestion or whatever it is, and at the time never you don't hesitate to say the good thing at the end.
Yeah. So you're saying while this person seems like someone who's very quick to criticize or very quick to say something which might make someone else very nervous, there's also this part while this person is having a tough outer shell. Inside, she's this very soft person, maybe who's well read,
Hmm.
and may even go to the extent of
Yeah.
acknowledging what someone else is doing, and
Yes,
that
but
makes
doesn't know to balance how to,
yeah,
doesn't know to balance it properly.
yeah.
So one extreme and the other extreme. That is the thing.
And when you're holding this image of a coconut, how are you feeling for this person then? Outside hard and inside very soft.
I was feeling a kind of remorse, feeling like, should have been more diplomatic
Yeah.
than being aggressive, than being abrupt. What do you call it? The term? I'm not getting the term correctly. Uh, on the spur of the moment. Don't go with the spur of the moment. Should have been diplomatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm also wondering if you'd like to think of how you could create a story around it with this coconut, and how this coconut who the outside is very hard, and but inside that there is this very soft, fleshy, very soft, tender part, and how this tender part, when it came out and met with the people around it, or the other coconuts maybe, or the other trees around it, how it went some kind of transformation, or Is that something you think you'd like
Yeah,
to?
the transformation was that the other side, whichever plant or seedling took it, though after nervous breakdown, had to grow up and try to, what do you call, establish that, yes, what was told abruptly was not the right reason. What exactly the plant is, that was shown and that was accepted. That is the thing happened. That's why the coconut part came.
Yeah, so that's really nice. Like we were talking about iceberg, where there is some part that is seen and there's this part below. In the same way, there's this coconut, where outside it looks like this really hard, tough shell, but inside there is so much more to this um, thing that's here, this person that's here. So thank you so much, Nina, for sharing. Yes, Manjiri writes lot of obstinate behaviors in case no boundaries set, but are very compassionate and an animal lover. So again, there's a coconut, hard from outside and soft from inside. Yes.
Mary, 1 second. May I, Rohini here?
Hi, Rohini.
Hi, Nina, ji, whatever you brought up, it is so beautiful. I
Thank
just
you.
had it out, you when you said about the coconut and the hardness outside and the softness inside. Is it the same person, hard outside and soft inside, or is it the person soft inside and the others around him or her are hard? That is what I just had it out.
The person was hard from outside and inside soft. It was the same
Okay.
person.
So how do the people around him or her take it, accept it?
Very few accept it. Very few accept it because most of them go break down, and then some of them take it as a challenge, but and try to move ahead. Some really break down and move away.
So once they get to know that the person is soft inside, will they understand or?
See, understanding comes when that person herself or himself should understand what kind of terror you are going through, creating, or see, one side you are terrifying. It's understood that when you are a head of an institution, there is certain balance that you have to keep. But the balance should be diplomatic, not like anything, like, because like it's not when you are there in an institution, you need to be very, very diplomatic to see the pros and cons. So you have to be very careful while you say something baseless. At the same time, you know that the person you are giving a big round of applause for the person who is working hard. At the same time, you are assassinating their character just because of the hearsay. So that is what I meant.
Yeah.
So here diplomacy you meant in a positive sense, like to
Yeah,
have a filter when you're talking or
correct,
whatever.
correct,
Okay,
correct,
fine.
correct.
And sometimes that's
Fine.
really, thank you for bringing that in, Rohini.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Question. Sometimes it's really
Thank you.
challenging for people to, know where to, and that's also the impulsivity, where to put in a filter, how much to say, what to say. And
Yes.
sometimes there are so many challenges also in our day-to-day things that it just comes out, not in a very nice way. But
Yes.
yeah, just like the coconut, there is always some soft and tenderness inside. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Nina. And thank you for
Thank
just
you.
really taking us through that.
Such a unique perspective. Like I was wondering, I was just thinking about the children and all, and Neena ji, she brought up something very different. I really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Shivali, Dr. Shivali shares loud the simile. Nina, coconut is such a powerful metaphor. Being careful about boundaries, maybe. Okay, so are you saying the second point in relation to the first point about? Yeah, would you like to
Hi,
speak?
yeah, what I meant when Nina was saying to be a diplomat, maybe what she was trying to say is to be able to set boundaries, what to say, when to say. So I was just, suggesting what she's saying. I totally get it. Loved it the way that you described it, Nina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And is there any other thing that comes up? Any other image? Any other metaphor that you might have encountered? Like someone mentioned the bouncing ball.
If I can say, I love the chili thing also.
Yeah.
there are some people who really spark up that in you, but I hope in a positive side. That's what I would love to use that for people.
Yeah, again, a
Yes.
chili is a balance.
Correct.
Yes,
Too much can be too hot, but in the right
the right balance is needed.
yeah.
And
That's
When
maybe
we
about
actually look at, yeah, sorry, when we actually look at that, what Neena ji has told, somewhere or the other, every element, each one of us, somewhere we would be having a pinch of it, a percentage of it, the chili or the coconut or whatever it is. So how far, to what extent do we have to use them? Is but we should have, I guess, all these elements. We should have the chili, we should have the coconut. But to what extent do we have to have them is again a point.
we have to be, I think we have to balance them. If suppose we get emotionally carried away and the breakdown happens then, when we, because I think yeah, I'll be telling about this tomorrow while doing my session, storytelling, but more light on that. But coming to the story that I'm telling now also about the person. If suppose I am the person who am going through all these things, and for me, she looks like a chili, and at the end, it is like the coconut, okay, both the sides. So chili in the sense when you're getting your negative comments, in a way, you are trying to think about that whether you are that or not, and then trying to prove that no, I can't be that. This is my strength. I'm moving with this. And then you begin your what focus on that particular area. And at the end, you prove what you wanted to. Okay, so the chili is coming out of that coconut shell and telling, yes, of course, you have proved me wrong. So this is one thing. And I think most of us, yes, of course, nervous breakdown happens to anyone who is very emotional. And it's how you get through that emotion and come out and prove. That is very important.
Yeah.
So
Life
you'll have
should
to
be
balance.
spicy to enjoy the both.
Correct, correct. You should be ready to enjoy both spice
Yes.
and sweet, sour, sweet, three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any other metaphor related to something hyper, impulsive, or some behavior that you might have seen around in schools, in your students, which reminds you of some kind of, or what was the imagery for the others? I'm wondering. Taking life with a pinch of salt. Yeah, would you like to elaborate on that?
No, just the same what we were discussing, that how important it is to have all flavors in life. And if I could just use one more example here to say what I meant is, um, those who play music, you can't just play one chord and create some beautiful music out of it. You really have to use all of the notes, and that is what life is about. You can't live one emotion all your life. You have to experience every small bit of life and take it, like I said, with a pinch of salt, because that's the beauty about life. No 2 days are similar. Each day brings a different experience altogether.
Yeah, yeah. So I really like this image of different strings of an instrument and how different combinations will bring out different things, and playing all strings together. I mean, it's important to play through everything. And sometimes you might play a wrong tune or a different tune. Some days you play through a very difficult tune. But then that one tune doesn't define us. There are so many tunes that can be played as long as we know our skills. So if that's our resource, yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shivali. So that's a very nice simile, a musical instrument. Like even if we are thinking of a child, and as I'm listening to her, when I'm relating it to attention, issues with impulsivity and attention, and I was thinking of that scenario which Nina mentioned in the beginning, someone shouting in the beginning, standing up in class and shouting. So there is this instrument which is always playing out of tune. Anytime you played it, it was maybe blaring or not producing the right tune. And then whoever tried couldn't make the right kind of music with it. And so then the instrument just sat there in the corner. And anyone who came near it, they said, "Oh, we cannot play with it. Oh, it's just not working properly. Something is wrong with it. Something is faulty. And then that musical instrument just stayed there, gathering dust, almost going to rust, until one day a new teacher came in who did not know anything about all that was being spoken about this instrument. And she came in early that day, and while she was waiting for the class to come in, she went and got this musical instrument and she just looked at it. She wiped the dust off the instrument and slowly started tuning it. And she started playing it. And as she played it, it produced some tune. Something didn't seem right about it. But before she could cancel it out completely, she tuned it a bit more. And as she tuned it a bit more and she played it and she tuned it and she played it, it started getting more and more beautiful. The sound became more and more beautiful. And as she played, she felt more inspired to play. And as she did that, the sound traveled outside the classroom. And the children were just coming in and they were all excited hearing this music. And as they came and they saw this teacher playing the same instrument which was gathering dust in the corner. And then suddenly they were like, oh, we didn't know. We didn't know this could play so much, such wonderful music. And from that day onwards, that instrument took a big, important place in the classroom. Thanks to this teacher who didn't know anything about all the words and the baggage that was there with this particular thing. So, thank you for
Yes.
that.
Yeah, beautifully ended because the backstory was not known to the teacher. So the kid or the music instrument got relief from where it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
And that's sometimes what happens with our children or with people we know, oh, ye to aisa hi hai, nahi. And I know of children from my experience whose parents have told me that when they go to the next grade, the teacher is already warned, look out for this person. He's a troublemaker.
It's
Or-
already there, listed there, and the list is passed on. I, as a parent and as a teacher in the same school, have experienced the same thing. Because my son's name, younger one's name used to go there. Doesn't complete his work, doesn't do that, this, that. So that experience I know. But now I'm happy that my child is in VIT doing his multimedia animation course. So I'm happy, and all the people who were, they are also happy that we are so happy for them.
That's so nice to know. That's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Puna. Yeah, so is there any other object or simile or anything that comes to your mind?
I had a student
Yeah.
who's really very well behaved and well mannered, but he always wanted to talk. So he would finish his work and he was never a troublemaker, but he continuously used to talk. So I would say, please don't talk, don't disturb the other children. So what he would do, he would come and stand near me and keep talking. Then I would say, see, I am working, and if you are continuously talking, then I may do something wrong. मैं आपकी कॉपियां check कर रही हूँ, so I may make some mistakes. So that will be a trouble. So don't talk. So for some time I would keep my patience, and then suddenly I will say, just stand in the corner. What I would do is I just block him with my table and said, I simply love you, so you stand here and please don't talk because I'm working. So what he would do is start singing because nobody is going to hear him. He would start singing. So one thing, object I can relate with him is a silk thread. See, he's really very nice, smooth, but once he gets entangled, it is really, without harming the thread, I can't simply entangle it. So, make it straight. So it was like that. I simply loved him, everything, but every day he used to do the same thing, distract the class and distract even me. And I should tell, today he's a poet. He's grown up and he's a poet, and he sends me on Instagram and all. So I feel so good.
Yeah.
So the object comes to me as a silk thread.
The silk thread. And as you were talking about this person who wants to talk, the image that came to me is someone who would love to tell stories, maybe, or someone who really like to, be an orator, maybe
Orator.
wanting to really share. And it's so wonderful you got it to a full circle and shared about how this person now tells so many poems. Is a poet, writes
Beautiful
poet. Yeah.
He writes, and so good to see that.
It's really nice.
So he's full of words, I think.
Yeah, he's full of words. Yeah, yeah. If you had to make a story with the silk thread and this phrase of full of words, could you think of something or anybody else? Would someone like to give it a shot? It's a wonderful, beautiful simile and a lovely story.
We connect thread with some beautiful beats, the words he had, and the poem
Ah.
comes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's nice. Like there is this person who has so many words, and those words just come out, just overflowing. And then there was a silk thread when left alone would entangle. And then these words were like beads. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. Would anyone else like to share anything that came up for them while we were going through the story, the visual imagery? How about bouncing ball? The red bouncing ball, like a ball, someone who's like really full of energy and just likes to keep moving everywhere. So if you had to make a story where you're like really resourcing and looking at the qualities of this ball, what would that look like?
Can I give it a try? Though I'm not a storyteller, but
Yes,
I
please.
come from a life coach's perspective. And when the way that I look at a hot red color ball, I look at it as an emotion of anger. Nobody wants to keep it. The moment you have it, you hold it, it starts burning your hand. It destroys you. So you
Hmm.
don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to throw it to the other person who you can dominate. So you throw the ball at the other person, and it then gets into a spiral. From one person, person passes it to the another person, and then the whole chain of that negative emotion goes on. While the
Yeah,
same red color ball can be looked at as an expression of love and
yeah.
acceptance. So when you pass it on to somebody, you receive it more than you give. So that is how I look at it.
Nice. So you're saying that the same ball could either look like a ball of anger or it could look like a ball which is full of passion and full of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And just,
I would like
yes,
a story with a bouncing ball.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a bouncing ball in the class, and it was kindergarten, obviously. So the children were once the bouncing ball they got. The children were very happy, but totally that the teacher was very disturbed because all the children were running here and there, and she always wished I should hide this ball sometime. And it's somehow happened that the ball. So she could find that nobody's playing with the ball. She was thought it might be kahin chुप गया bench के नीचे, and she was happy. But after a while, she started missing it. Even the children were very sad. Even she felt that no, that makes the class energetic. So there are some kids who are really like bouncing balls, but yes, they make the class energetic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really nice. Like how the ball, when it's not there, everybody misses it so much, and how
Because
it brings.
I had a student, I used to tell, not how much you disturb the class and all. But once he got fever and he was not there for a week, I really missed him. Oh, he's not there. The class is so dull. So I really wanted that he should come back fast, and that is the thing.
Wonderful.
Attention seekers, I think sometimes are really they spread energy. I feel so.
Yeah, yeah. I would relate the red ball to strong vibes of energy. When held, it changes the attitude and character of the person. Yeah, and then I'm just combining what that's fine, Vanish. Thank you for sharing on chat. I'm just combining what Meenakshi was sharing about this ball and what Shivali was talking about, the love. It's almost like this red ball is full of love and it's bouncing, and every person that touches it, in the class, it's really spreading its love and all these good emotions to everyone who comes in touch with it. So when the teacher comes for class, then everybody is like this very energized person, and when it's the ball is not there, everyone is really missing that person. So thank you, Meenakshi ji, and thank you, Dr. Shivali. Is there any other metaphor that comes? Thanks for inviting me, Meena. Totally love the time listening and sharing. Thank you, Dr. Shivali. So as you can see, the stories, the metaphors are so many, and really, just looking very objectively at what's happening, like instead of labeling the child or the person like, oh, this person is stubborn or this child is very talkative. In spite of from all these stories, and so nice to have people who have seen children move through years, like such senior teachers who can tell that, oh, this first child was there, and then after so many years he's doing this. So nice to have that complete circle, to see that and to know that in spite of everything, what we all want to do is to really connect with the other person, and that's really something at the heart of it. So really looking very objectively at these behaviors, or at these challenges that these individuals are facing, because beyond that challenge, if we, instead of focusing so much on the challenge, if we just zoom out a bit, there is so many more things that we can actually see, and relax our attention on this one thing, utna aisa hai, to really taking in that whole breadth and width of this person. There's so much more that can come up. And why is it important is because as caretakers, or as the individual, it can sometimes get so exhausting to have to deal with someone like that, and that sometimes we doubt ourselves as teachers or caregivers, that what's going on, what's happening here. So it's some exercise that you can also do it, when you meet someone, or just try it out. So if I were to imagine, look at this particular characteristic just by itself and create a story around it and how it moves, that would be really
I think that
nice.
is one, that is what, when I was working as a school librarian, what I did is basically the primary kids from class 1 to 6, you have such children out of 45, you'll there at least one or two will be there. So the like first time I used to think what to do. Then second time I would work out, like I'll tell them, okay, fine, I'll give you, because library, they know how they are taking books from class 3. So I tell them that if you behave well and listen to what I'm telling you, or read the book, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is you'll get a responsibility to. So when you give them a responsibility, they do it wholeheartedly. These
Yeah.
children do it wholeheartedly, and they're ever ready to do it. So that kind of activities put them, bring that, that energy that they were misusing, that calms down. And
Yeah.
gradually, then you come to know that I'm so happy to see my kids getting their books published in Brick Book and other platforms, and parents sending so many stories. See, ma'am, my kid is doing this. So this is what happens with those kids. So I think the red ball is really something that is looking for a kind of not sympathy actually, but a passion, or a kind at the attention is for them to know that they are also important as any other kid around them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow, thank you. I really liked what you said about how you really use their energy in such a very fruitful manner. And I'm sure you were able to do that because you were just not looking at that behavior, but you're really looking at this whole person, and you're
yes,
seeing.
yeah, because you need to know the back history behind why that child is like that.
Yeah.
that's also important. But that is when you come to know that there are certain things which because of which the child is behaving like that. So that if that grassroots is understood and you work on that, definitely they will turn out into what you call diamonds and whatever gems you want them to be.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really also having that supportive person around you, or even the environment being very resourceful or caregiving, which really helps these individuals. So like flowers or seeds on fertile ground with a really loving, caring gardener who nourishes them and takes them through different seasons. Yes, thank you so much for your stories. And as we close, we'll just do a short practice of loving kindness, just for ourselves and for all these individuals who are, we interact every day, knowingly, unknowingly, we get in touch with so many souls, beautiful souls around us. So, let's go back to the lake where Kanaga took us. And let's just imagine we are sitting all around this lake, cross-legged, and maybe close our eyes. We're all sitting in a circle while we are right in front of the screen, but yet imagining sitting by the lake in the middle of the forest. The sky is clear and you can see the reflection of the sky in this lake. And there's a gentle wind and a breeze. And you're just getting in touch with the ground below you. And just breathing in and taking in the presence of the other with you around this lake. And remembering all these people around you with love. And saying these words of loving kindness, keeping ourselves in the center. And you can just repeat it in your minds. May I be well. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. And then taking a moment to remember all these beautiful storytellers, educators, coaches, and all these individuals that are here. Sending some love their way, radiating some loving kindness. May they be well. May they have peace. May they have a sense of well-being. And then remembering all these individuals, children who come into our lives, who seem difficult, and yet they're so special. Each one is so different, creative, loving, with so much love and so much energy. And keeping them all in mind, may we be well. May we have peace. May we have ease of well-being. And for this whole storytellers which work with children, working with children like children, may we all be well. May we all be at peace. And may we all have a sense of well-being. And when you feel ready, you may gently open your eyes. And before we close, if you could switch on your cameras for whoever it's fine, and we could just acknowledge the presence of the others in the room. Thank you so much for this very wonderful discussion, metaphors, stories, sharing personal reflections and insights.
Yeah, we have opened our heart and the mind towards you. It was refreshing for 90 minutes, Mary.
Yes, thank you, Kanaga. Really, it was really nice. And we'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your feedback. We have 5 minutes more before we close.
Thank you.
Can't hear you, Nina. You on mute. Oh, there's some noise around.
Yes, if people could just mention one or two things that that you got out of this session.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoyed.
just, yeah,
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just got, the perspective of, looking at things in an objective way, viewing in a different way, rather than, coming to a conclusion that this person is like this person is, and also weaving out beautiful, threats from the, impulsities, whatever people have. So that's what.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nona.
so much.
Yeah. So looking at people as they are in the moment, very objectively. Yeah. And each one really wants to connect. Yes, Shivali. Dr. Shivali.
Yeah, so what I really enjoyed, though I joined towards the later half of the session maybe, but I really enjoyed the how different people have different perspectives and each one of them is so right. There is nothing wrong about the perspective and it is so beautiful. Everybody comes from their own unique experience and that what really matters, that we all share what we think and they are accepted for how we want to share our own perspective with people. It's a beautiful space. So I must congratulate whoever created this space for storytellers to share their thoughts. So well done and more power to each one of you.
Thank you. And thank you, Eric, for this wonderful opportunity. And
Thank you, Eric, for this opportunity you have given us.
Thank you. Okay, shall we close the session?
yes, thank you.